So today I'm going to talk about literary theory, a compulsory course in my study of MALCS. So there were basically two things in terms of literary theories. The first is histories and the key ideas of these many different theories, and the second is how these theories can be used to analyze literary texts, movies, or drama. And if you want to have a very general idea about these theories, you can go for a book called Beginning Theory, which covers routine theories. Particularly interested in one of them, you can just have a look at the reading list included in the book. Particularly interested in feminism, then you better also read The Second Sex. I'll show you an example of how psychoanalysis is talked about in this book. So first, it mentions two notions about Freud's psychoanalysis. The first is called infant sexuality, which means that sexuality begins not at puberty but in infancy. Connected with this is the Oedipus complex, whereby the male infant conceives the desire to eliminate the father and to become the sexual partner of the mother. So this theory has been applied on Hamlet to explain the protagonist's delay in revenge. And some critics say that Hamlet has an Oedipus complex, which repressed the desire for his mother. And here, I would say that the director of the 1948 version of the Hamlet movie would agree with this, because in the following clips, you will see how normal relationship is presented between Hamlet and his mother.
Good night. But go not to my uncle's bed. Assume a virtue if you have it not. Refrain tonight, and that shall lend a kind of easiness to the next abstinence, the next more.
So here you can see that Hamlet has a very strange and persistent imagining of his mother sleeping with his uncle, and he urges his mother not to do that, which is very, very just incomprehensible. But if we use psychoanalysis for this part, everything becomes clearer. Besides the application on classic canon, literary theories are also very versatile in that they can be used to interpret many other cultural phenomena and more contemporary literary works. So I particularly like a notion called regression defense mechanism, in which a person deals with stressful situations or anxiety-provoking relationships by retreating to an earlier developmental stage. And the moment I learned about this notion, I thought of a photo I ran into on social media around half a year ago. It was a man calling like a baby, lying beside the tombs of his parents. And also I used this notion to analyze a book that I very much like, which is called The Price of Thought. And I think you probably have heard of it because you have watched the movie called Carol, which is based on this novel. So I have two characters, 19-year-old Therese and 30-something Carol. So in the following excerpt, you'll see Therese pays a first visit to Carol, to her home. Carol asks her, "What would you like, a drink?" Therese knew she meant water. She knew from the tenderness and the concern in her voice, as if she were a child sick with fever. Then Therese said it, "I think I'd like some hot milk." And Therese lay in a limbo of anxiety and sleepiness all along while until Carol reappeared with the milk. "Is that the way you like it, plain like that?" Therese nodded. Carol said, and sat down on the arm of a chair and watched her. The milk seemed to taste of bone and blood, of warm flesh or hair, saltless as chalk, yet alive as a growing embryo. I think we can tell that Therese is very much nervous for staying in a very big house that belongs to her. At the same time, she is deeply attracted to Carol, but also very much confused and scared by her own homosexuality. Because we have to know this story takes place in the 1950s in America, so which adds to her anxiety. So all these things contribute to her behaving like a kid, asking for milk and being very sleepy, which are both typical symptoms of a regression. So by now I think you might start to be interested in psychoanalysis, or you probably want to know more about different theories, and I indeed recommend you go to the book Beginning Theory. And if you find it's something too hard for you because it's written in English, I think you can start with a series of videos. I very much like it. It's very easy to follow. So that's all for today. Thanks to you.